Good evening. Today we're starting to read the book of Matthew from front to back. So to share the gospel out of the NIV, the HCSB version, the study Bible. A little bit of an introduction to Matthew. It seems fitting that the first book of the New Testament, the Gospel of Matthew, begins with these words, the historical record of Jesus Christ. This Gospel was written from a strong Jewish perspective to show that Jesus truly is the Messiah promised in the Old Testament. The author did not identify himself in the text. However, as the title that describes this Gospel to Matthew appears to be the earliest of the manuscripts and is possibly original. Titles became necessary to distinguish one gospel from another when the four Gospels began to circulate as a single collection. Many early church fathers, Papias, Irenaeus, Pantanius, and Origen, acknowledged Matthew as the author. Papias also contended that Matthew first wrote it in Hebrew, implying that this gospel was later translated into Greek. Many modern scholars dispute these traditional claims. For instance, against Papias, they argue that this gospel is not originally written in Hebrew, since the Greek of Matthew does not appear to be a translation to Greek. They further argue that if the early church, following Papias' opinion, was wrong about the original language, they will likely be incorrect about the author as well. However, the excellent Greek in Matthew could have been produced by a skilled translator in the original Hebrew text. Furthermore, there are many hints of Aramaic influence in the Gospel. Finally, since Hebrew quickly ceased to be a dominant language of early Christians as the church extended into Gentile territories, requiring the Gospel to circulate in Greek translation, the absence of ancient Hebrew texts of Matthew is not surprising. Matthew probably wrote this Gospel in order to preserve the written eyewitness testimonies about the ministry of Jesus. Matthew's Gospel emphasizes certain theological truths. First, Jesus is the Messiah, the long-awaited King of God's people. Second, Jesus is the new Abraham, the founder of a new spiritual Israel, consisting of all people who chose to follow him. This is the new Israel, that will consist of both Jews and Gentiles. Third, Jesus is the new Moses, the deliverer and instructor of God's people. Fourth, Jesus is the Emmanuel, the virgin-born Son of God, who fulfills the promises of the Old Testament.